Michelle, please, to the paragraph that starts, brain is on full tilt. And maybe just blow up the first couple sentences there. Okay, yeah, perfect. So in this email to Mr. Witkin in June of 2013, you write to him, brain is on full tilt. The circus never stops. Feel physically fucked constantly. I'm wired up so tight that I'm barely able to deal with people on any level that is remotely enjoyable. See that? Did I read that right?
Yes, I see, yeah.
Now, Michelle, can you please pull up Exhibit 350, Defendant's Exhibit 350? This is a text exchange that you had with Stephen Deuters, your personal assistant, on March 6th, 2015. So we fast forwarded a couple years. Do you see that?
Is that 1628? Is that the third one down?
Yeah, yes, sir. 1628. Third one down. And this is a text that you sent to Mr. Deuters on March 6th, 2015?
Sorry, just reading it. Yes.
And by this point, you had been in Australia since about the week after your wedding, right? So for 3 weeks or so? Is that about right?
Seems right, yes.
Okay. And Amber didn't arrive until around this time, correct? Beginning of March?
Yes, I recall that Amber arrived around the 6th, 7th.
The 6th or 7th of March, right? Okay. So you'd been outside of her presence for the last 3 or 4 weeks prior to this, right?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. Can you, Your Honor, I would move for admission of Defendant's Exhibit 350 with identifiers redacted.
Your Honor, we would ask that the top email to Mr. Holmes and the last email from Mr. Deuters be redacted.
So just the two in the middle?
Yes.
Sure, and honestly, Your Honor, then if we're going to do that, we can just redact the, actually, we can redact the second one too, so we just do the third.
Your Honor, we believe that's necessary for context.
Okay, for context, all right, so we'll just get rid of the first one and the last one and the identifiers. So it should be the two middle texts.
Thank you. If you could just...
350 in evidence as redacted. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. Michelle, if you could blow up the email starting with honestly. So this is an email. You've been in pre-production and shooting in Pirates 5 for the last couple of weeks, correct? By March 6, 2015?
What was the question, sorry?
By March 6, 2015, you'd been in pre-production and shooting for Pirates 5 for a couple of weeks in Australia, right?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. So your email to him, to Mr. Deuters, your personal assistant, reads, honestly, I will not again be doing anything that involves the discussion of furthering my embarrassment of having whored for all these fucking wasted pieces of shit, nothing, years on characters that I so ignorantly started to think of as my legacy. Every cunting fight, every fucking time, I held my ugliness and rage deeper down and get in check when there was still room in my head to do such a thing. Did I read that right?
You did.
And that's what you're writing to Mr. Deuters, having been on the set of Pirates 5 for a couple of weeks, correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
The screenplay that I received was not up to snuff, I felt. And so that was part of this, was my anger was that the screenplay was very lazily written, and I had to do a lot of rewriting.
And With you in Australia, I think we covered this, was Debbie Lloyd. You testified to that before lunch, right? Debbie Lloyd was your sobriety nurse, she's supposed to help you stay sober, correct?
She was there to give me meds and
Right. The fact is...
stay on the path.
Okay. The fact is, Mr. Depp, you had been using a fair amount of drugs during those 3 or 4 week period before Miss Heard arrived in Australia, hadn't you?
Marijuana was what I was using.
And not just that, other drugs too, correct?
No, not that I recall, no.
Okay. Let's take a look at Exhibit 346, please. Okay. This is a text message exchange between you and Nathan Holmes on February 25th, 2015. Correct?
That's correct.
Mr. Holmes was another one of your personal assistants, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
He and Stephen Duders were kind of the two main personal assistants during this period of time, right?
That's correct.
Okay. And at the top of the page, the second one down, do you see where Mr. Holmes tells you...
Objection, hearsay.
He just testified that he was only using marijuana, and this is clearly impeachment to that, Your Honor?
This is Mr. Holmes'
Well,
words.
we're gonna go text by text, and before I ask for permission to publish and for motion for admission, we'll go through it. But
I'll sustain as Mr. Holmes. So.
Okay, Mr. Depp, why don't you take a moment to read this text from the top down?
Thank you.
Please.
Okay, yes.
Okay. So, Mr. Depp, does this refresh your recollection that, in fact, you weren't doing just marijuana in late February 2015? In fact, you were doing cocaine that Nathan Holmes was supplying to you?
In fact, there's nothing in there that says I've been doing cocaine.
Does this refresh your recollection, Mr. Depp, that you were given cocaine by Nathan Holmes in late February 2015?
Even if I were given cocaine by Nathan Holmes, there's nothing here that says I was doing the cocaine.
And Nathan Holmes was upset, or you understood that Nathan Holmes thought that you might be upset with him for taking some of your cocaine. Isn't that right?
I think
Objection, Your
that's...
Honor, hearsay and speculation.
Excuse me.
I said, what was his understanding?
I'll sustain as a speculation. Next question.
Okay. And in fact, Mr. Depp, you also were going to see Marilyn Manson in Australia around this time, correct?
Correct. He was coming to play a show in Melbourne.
Okay. Your Honor, I would move for admission of this document with the following text messages. We can redact whatever else they want, although I think, well, the ones that, of the witness's own words that I'd like to show are 80039, 80041, 80086. Those are all words from Mr. Depp. I have a highlighted copy if you'd like me to approach.
Yeah, we have no objection as long as everything else is
You just
redacted.
want to look at his highlighted copy and make sure that's.
Oops, I touched the screen horribly.
No, that was
Pardon me.
you. It's okay. You're good.
All set.
Okay. So no objection to the redactions? To
No objection to
346
admitting those with redactions, yes.
Okay, thank you. Get those redactions. All right, 346 in evidence with the redactions. You can publish it.
So you can see these texts were sent on February 26th and February 27th, 2015. And if you scroll over, Michelle, and can you just blow up the text portion of it? You text Mr. Holmes, your personal assistant, have you heard from Manson's Ryan? Now, Ryan was Marilyn Manson's personal assistant, or he worked for him. That's what you understood, correct?
At the time, yes.
Okay. And then you say, yes, and of course, yes, please, and you will pay Ryan for it. 2 exclamation points, 2 question marks. And then you write, disappearer, we should have more happy pills. 3 exclamation points, 2 question marks, can you, followed by 3 exclamation points. Did I read that correctly?
You did.
Okay. Can you take that down and please pull up
Although
Exhibit
there were question marks
349?
instead of exclamation points.
And Mr. Depp, this text exchange that I'm going to ask you about is from just 2 days later, after February 26th. On February 28th, it's the last 2 on the page. February 28th, 2015, there's a text from you to Mr. Duders.
I would object to the, as hearsay with respect to the text from Mr. Duders.
That's fine.
Okay, you're just,
So just the second to last one is all we would seek to admit.
okay, if we could do the redactions for just that.
Yes, Your Honor, and we'll happy to redact Mr. Duders' response.
Okay. All right, so 349 in evidence with redactions. Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor. So in this text message, Mr. Depp, sent on February 28th, 2015, you send Mr. Duders an email, and if you'll remember, what we had just looked at was you reaching out to Mr. Holmes, asking if he had heard from Manson's assistant, Ryan, and then saying yes, of course, please pay Ryan for it, and then asking for more happy pills. And in this text message, you say, yay, hello, Master D. I say, I do believe that Ryan, parentheses, Munson's, gave you a wee baggage for me. Where does it reside? X. Did I read that right?
You continue to read them right, yes.
And where it says Munson's, that's a typo and should have said Manson's, correct?
It's a nickname.
Okay. You can take that down. Thank you. So we've gone from February 26th to February 28th. I'd now like to fast forward to March 2nd. of that year, 2015. Can you please pull up Exhibit 353? Your Honor, let's do it this way. Mr. Depp, these are text messages back and forth from you to your other personal assistant, Nathan Holmes, in March of 2015, correct?
Appears to be, yes, yes.
Your Honor, I know that the whole thing is going to draw an objection, but I would like to move to admit Mr. Depp's texts, which I have here highlighted, and I think we can redact pretty quickly through this document. And I'm happy to have them highlighted if you'd like me to approach.
Well, if you could just
Sure.
show it to council, the highlighted portions. Is this a one-page document or?
It's actually three.
Three-page
And we may not do all of them now, but I think it's
Okay.
easier to just.
Is this the only page I can show?
Michelle.
We have no objection with just admitting Mr. Depp's
Okay, so
messages.
353 with the redactions.
Yes, and I think
Okay.
we can, if you'll just indulge us for a minute, I think
right,
we
that's
can
fine.
get all of that done. Thank you.
Okay. All right, so 353 in evidence with redactions. Wait a minute. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Assuming that Ms. Myers agrees with our redactions here.
Make sure.
Can we just see the other pages where the redactions were implemented? Okay. Yes, all
All
set,
right.
thank you.
353 in evidence with the redactions.
Thank you, Your
Published
Honor.
to the jury.
Can you please go to the first page of that document? So, February 26th, February 28th, now we're up to March 2nd. And on March 2nd, a few days before Ms. Hurd arrives in Australia, you text Nathan Holmes, and this is going to take a little bit just to kind of get through this, so appreciate the court and the jury's patience here. But you text him on number 73, and you say, "No, you're not. Why? That is not a part of the job description. And I'm telling you now, any one of any of you guys start to lecture me, I just do not want to hear it. No stupid bullshit about sappy bollocks. I am a grown fucking man, and I will not be judged. Did I read that right?
You did.
Keep going, please. And I will never, ever live in this world cage any longer. I'll do whatever I damn well please. Okay. Did I read that right?
You did.
Then if we go on to the next page, please. You continue and say, I don't want to depend on others for things like that. I'm not unhappy. I am insane. Big difference. Did I read that right?
You did.
No system. Then you say, I don't want to risk it for you or anyone. So I can get what I need. Also, may I be ecstatic again? Helps. Color me deceased. By ecstatic, you're referring to taking ecstasy, correct?
It's very likely. Before Miss Heard arrived, she'd asked me to score either MDMA or ecstasy tablets before her arrival.
Okay. So once again, Ms. Heard's at fault for these texts.
I'm not blaming her for the text. I'm just stating the facts.
Okay. Well, let's talk about those facts. So
Okay.
Ms. Heard arrives in March in 2015. You can go ahead and actually, you know what? Let's go down one, Michelle, because we're going to fast forward a few days and we're going to come back to this. Actually, just one day. This is when you text Mr. I don't even remember if it was Holmes or Duders at this point. Mr. Holmes, correct? And you text him and you say,
This is
yeah,
on
Mr.
the
Holmes.
7th.
Yeah, so
Yes.
we fast forwarded another couple of days, I guess, 5 days, and you say, need more Whitey stuff ASAP, brother man, and the e-business, please. I'm in bad shape. Say nothing to nobody. Did I read that right?
You did, sir.
Okay. And I wanted to take a look at that, Mr. Depp, because you just testified that Ms. Heard was the one who wanted ecstasy. But in fact, when you sent this text on March 7th, 2015, this was right after you cut your finger off.
No.
And right after you told the doctor that you cut your finger off, you were asking for cocaine and ecstasy. That's entirely possible, correct?
I'm not sure that you have the date correct about when my finger was chopped off.
Okay. Okay, let's take a look.
I'm pretty
We're gonna
sure
take
that
a
the
look.
date was the 8th.
Okay. Now, Mr. Depp, you remember testifying, let's put it this way. Sometimes these texts, the dates of the text messages, you would agree that they're, obviously Australia's 12 hours different from this part of the world, correct? Or something like that.
Something like that. Sure, I'll agree with you on that.
So the text, the date stamps and time stamps that are reflected on these texts may be reflecting a different time than when they were actually sent.
Objection Foundation calls for speculation.
You'd agree with that, right?
No, I'll sustain the objection.
Okay. Okay. Well, then let's do this. So is it your testimony that right after you cut your finger off, that you, or right after, I won't give you anything to argue with me yet, right after you sustained an injury to your finger,
Sorry.
that you right after you sustained an injury to your finger, is it your testimony that you did not ask for cocaine and ecstasy right after you told the doctor about your finger injury? Is that your testimony?
Regardless of what date you believe works within the world time zone, I don't believe that someone who has gone through opiate dependency, who has lost the ability to produce dopamine and serotonin in their own body, because that's what the opiate does. Your body no longer needs to make the dopamine or the serotonin. The dopamine and serotonin, as you know, I imagine, are things that keep us it gives us our moods. It gives us.
I appreciate that, but my question wasn't that. My question was,
I'm just trying
right
to
after
school
you told
on
the
it.
doctor about your finger injury, you were asking for coke. It's entirely possible that you were asking for cocaine and ecstasy.
Objection
Yes
calls
or
for
no?
speculation.
No, I'll allow that question. Answer it.
Clearly, need more Whitey stuff. Yes, it's a reference to cocaine, but that doesn't. There's nothing here that says that I ingested the drug.
Not saying there is, but you were asking for more cocaine and you were asking for more ecstasy, correct?
I wasn't asking for more ecstasy. I was asking for ecstasy because that was what I was requested by Ms. Hurd.
Let's take a look at the UK transcript, day 3. Permission to approach with that,
All right.
Your Honor?
Okay.
Day 3. Oh, yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I'm asking you to turn to page 463 and 464, please.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
I'm sorry. I'm going to ask you to turn to page 463 and 464 of this, please.
Sure thing. 463, 464.
Are you there?
I'm there, just
Okay.
reading it, sorry.
And on page 463, line 20, you're asked a question, Mr. Depp, what I am asking you about, and I think your barrister, Mr. Sherborne, agrees, the times we have to factor in, it may be we can put in an agreed local Australian time, but what is important, do you see, is the order that you have cut your finger off, and straight away, after telling your doctor that you cut your finger off, you are asking for cocaine and ecstasy. Answer, yes, that is what it. Question, that is what it looks like. Answer, appears to be, and it is entirely possible that I was in the state that I was in. Did I read that right?
Yes, you did. Asking for cocaine.
So, we talked about the cocaine and the ecstasy. Let's talk about the altercation that you and Ms. Hurd had in Australia. You testified that you were sitting on a bar stool, right? In Australia. This is before.
So you're fast forwarding
down.
to the end of of that argument.
Yeah, we've heard your account of the argument, and the jury will hear Ms. Hurd's account of the argument. What I want to ask you is some specific questions about you're sitting on a bar stool. You've had 3 or 4, I think you said 3 shots of vodka.
I did 2 or 3 shots of
okay.
vodka, yes. Yeah.
And you're resting with your hands kind of hanging over the edge, like that, right?
Well, after the first bottle whizzed past my head and shattered, as I said, I walked around the bar, grabbed the larger, was another bottle of vodka, the only one there. The larger bottle, brought it back and poured another shot and did it.
And, right, and that was like a, what we call a handle of vodka, is that right?
Well, yeah, it's one of the larger bottles with the, it's got a handle on it, yes.
And it was full at the time, other than the shot that you poured?
No, it wasn't a full
full.
bottle. No.
Okay. And at some point, before you claim you sustained an injury to your finger, I believe you demonstrated to the jury yesterday, but you were resting with your three fingers, your middle three fingers kind of hanging over the edge. Is that fair? Is that right?
Yes, I just had
Okay.
a bottle thrown at me, so I was, when she grabbed the second bottle.
Right. I'm just asking where your fingers were, sir, at that point. Your palm was facing down and your three middle fingers were hanging over the edge of the bar, correct?
Basically,
Okay.
that's correct.
And Miss Amber was 7 to 10 feet away, correct?
Once she walked, yes, once she'd grabbed the bottle, yes.
Okay. And your testimony, and we've heard it yesterday, but your testimony is that somehow she wound up with this handle of vodka and threw it, and it damaged part of your middle finger. But what we didn't talk about, and what I want to ask you about, is it didn't, if it happened the way you said, it didn't damage any other part of your hand, correct? No other part of your fingers, none of the other middle fingers that were hanging over the edge of the bar were injured, correct?
Objection, compound.
We can take it piece by piece. None of the three fingers that were hanging over the edge of the bar were sustained any injury other than your middle finger. Is correct?
The middle finger certainly took the brunt of it as the tip
And there's
was cut off.
there's no record of any glass being found in that middle finger. Correct?
Objection calls for speculation.
I'm
I'll allow it if you can answer it.
I'm not a doctor, and I'm not sure what was found in the middle finger. What I do know is that when I went to the emergency room, that they they had to inject me with a block to be able to put it into a bucket and take a wire brush to scrub it all clean, because I had all the makeup still left from Pirates on there. And
Makeup from Pirates. Okay, we'll get to that in a second. But none of the other fingers on your hand were sustained any injury that you're aware of, correct?
no, there were nothing else was severed. No.
Okay. And in fact, it wasn't just makeup from Pirates that was on your hand. It was paint that you had dipped your middle finger into to write, along with blood, to write on mirrors and lamps and assorted furniture in the house, correct?
Objection, compound.
All right, I'll sustain as to compound if you.
It wasn't just makeup. You testified yesterday that it was just makeup from the set of Pirates 5, but in fact, after you sustained an injury to your finger, you dipped it in paint in the house, and you wrote in paint mixed with blood all over the place.
Objection, compound.
I'll sustain the objection.
You dipped your finger in paint in the house and wrote on objects in the house. correct?
Objection, compound.
I'll sustain the objection.
You dipped your finger in paint after suffering an injury.
Yes.
And then you used that finger to write on objects in the house. Yes or
that-
no?
Yes, that was after after writing on the walls, the blood had kind of dried, as it were, and so I stuck my finger into a can of paint and also, excuse me, mineral spirits to put my verbal messages onto the wall.
And you used your finger as a paintbrush, right?
Essentially, yes.
And can we put up Exhibit 369, please? It might, it might be plaintiffs. Let's. Now, Mr. Depp, we're gonna take a look at some pictures shortly, but you'd agree with me that there was quite a bit of damage to the house in Australia after this incident, correct?
There was quite a bit of damage to the house during the entire incident, yes.
And you don't remember the television breaking, do you?
I remember I believe there was a coffee cup stuck into the screen, or a plate or something like that.
And you don't remember the window breaking, do you?
I don't remember a window breaking.
But you do remember that there was quite a lot of blood everywhere, including on floors and sofas.
Well, I'd noticed, that's how I'd noticed that I was leaking. There was heat in my finger, and I felt this warmth and this liquid, and then I noticed that the tip of my finger was gone. And at that point, I think I went into some sort of shock or whatever is closest to a kind of nervous breakdown.
Yeah, you testified that breakdown. You could have also defaced a painting by drawing a penis on it, didn't you?
I don't know about that. I don't remember drawing a penis on a painting.
Given the state you were in, it's entirely possible that you did that, even if you don't remember it to this day, correct?
Drawing a penis on a painting was not the first thing on my mind.
I
had messages to write, reminders that were for Miss Heard.
But you don't deny that if a painting was defaced with a penis drawn on it, that could have been you, even if you were blacked out and don't remember that, correct?
Objection, speculation.
I'll allow it, if you can.
This was no blackout. I know you love the word. It was no blackout. It was shock.
That wasn't my question, Mr. Depp. Respectfully, it was, you don't deny that you could have defaced a painting in the manner that I just described.
Well, given that I had written some messages on the bathroom mirror, and then Miss Heard added to them, it's also not impossible that Miss Heard may have drawn a penis on a painting somewhere. That's not where I was going.
Let's take a look at page 451 of your testimony in the UK trial, please.
Yes, sir.
And if you look at page 451, line 21, please. You were asked the question, let me ask you, is defacing a painting something that you are likely to have forgotten? Answer, I recall a painting on a lampshade, on a wall, on a mirror. I remember dunking my finger into paint thinner and using paint when I had run out of blood to paint with, and I could have defaced the painting, I suppose, but I do not remember a painting specifically. Question down below on 452, line 15. So, there are parts of this episode that you do not remember at all, because that would be quite a big thing, would it not, painting a penis on a picture? Answer, it would be quite a big thing. I do not recall. Question, it is not something you would do by accident, is it? You do not accidentally. Answer, no, I would say not. Question, you have no recollection? Answer, I am sorry, I'm not 100% sure that I can say I did that. Did I read that right?
You did read it right, sir. Thank you.
Let's take a look at Exhibit 374, please.
Is it Defendant's Exhibit 374?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Mr. Depp, do you recognize this as one of the mirrors that you wrote on with your injured finger in March of 2015.
Yes, I do.
And yesterday I'm sorry. We've seen a lot of texts today.
It's all right. I did text someone yesterday.
Yesterday, you testified that you wrote on the mirror, and I don't remember exactly what you said, but you essentially said that you wrote things about your past with Miss Heard, or grievances
Reminders.
that you had with her, correct?
Reminders, yes.
Okay. Your Honor, permission to I'd move this in as an exhibit and ask for permission to publish.
Any objection?
No objection,
All
Your
right,
Honor.
374 in evidence. You can publish.
You could just blow that up a little bit. Is it possible? So, on this, which you wrote on with your severed finger, you wrote in some mix of paint or blood, starring Billy Bob and Easy Amber.
Yes, sir.
Miss Heard arrived directly in Australia from filming the film London Fields in England with Billy Bob Thornton, correct?
That's correct.
And you hadn't seen your new bride in 3 or 4 weeks, and she arrives. You're not happy about her filming with Billy Bob Thornton, and so as part of this altercation incident, after your finger is injured, you write starring Billy Bob and Easy Amber on the mirror, correct?
Objection, compound.
I'll sustain the objection.
I'll move on.
Okay.
Let's pull up Exhibit 375, please. This is, Mr. Deputy, you recognize this as another mirror on which you wrote with in blood and paint after your finger injury in March of 2015.
Yes, sir. That's in the same bathroom.
Okay. Your Honor, move for admission of Exhibit 375 and request permission to publish.
No objection,
All
Your
right,
Honor.
375 in evidence. You can publish.
Okay. Can we please pull up Exhibit 377, please? Mr. Depp, this is a picture of a lampshade that you wrote on after you sustained a finger injury on March 8th, 2015, correct?
That's correct.
Your Honor, move for admission of Exhibit 377.
No objection.
All right, 377 in evidence. You can publish.
Permission to publish. And on this lampshade, which appears to be sitting on the ground, you write some mixture of blood or paint. Good luck and be careful at top.
Yes, correct.
Correct?
Yes. I thought it was good advice.
Okay. Now, you have never and I know Ms. Heard will give her account of this incident later in the trial. Just to be clear, you have never seen Amber inflict harm on herself or on her arms or anything like that, correct?
Objection compound.
Sustain.
You've never seen Amber inflict harm on herself.
That depends on your definition of harm, sir. That's quite a broad word.
Can you please pull up your UK testimony at page 434?
Objection, Your Honor. May we approach?
Yes.
Mr. Depp, are you there on page 434, line 25?
For the 434, okay. Yes.
And in the UK trial, were you asked this question and did you give this answer? Question, you have never seen her inflict harm on herself, on her arms, or anything like that during the time you were with her? Answer, no, no. Did I read that right?
I don't see it on page 434. Can you?
You got to go to the top of page 435. So sorry if I wasn't clear. Let's go.
Oh, 435. Okay.
Yeah, so the bottom of page 34, question, you have never seen her inflict harm on herself, on her arms, or anything like that during the time you were with her. And then the answer at the top of page 435 is no, no. Did I read that correctly?
You did.
Thank you. Now, you testified yesterday that when you went to the hospital that you told them that you had injured your finger in an accordion door. You remember giving that testimony?
Yes, I do.
That's actually not true, is it? You actually told the hospital that you had cut it off with a kitchen knife. Isn't that right?
No, that's not true.
Can you pull up Exhibit 360, please?
I believe there was one of my team who might have said that to the doctor, but that was not my, those were not my words. At any rate, we were looking to keep Amber's name out of it.
Mr. Depp, I'm not going to move this exhibit into evidence, but do you see the portion where it says, thanks for seeing and treating this patient? You see that? And then right after that, it said, he sustained an injury to his right middle finger tonight after accidentally cutting it with a kitchen knife. You see that?
I do see that.
And there's no mention of an accordion door in that document, is there?
I'll read it if you like, but that was I didn't sign my name to this.
And
that's not my statement to them. I used the accordion door.
You testified
so
yesterday
that
that you told.
Then I can't help that.
You testified yesterday that you told Dr. Kipper that Ms. Heard had, in fact, been responsible for your finger injury. Do you remember giving that testimony?
Yes.
But in fact, in subsequent communications to Dr. Kipper, you referenced more than once that you chopped off your own finger to Dr. Kipper, correct?
I think the key word is chopped off my own finger. When you say to someone, I've chopped my finger off, that's just going straight to the fact. You don't get into she did this, I did that, this, that. My finger's been chopped off.
Let's take a look at Exhibit 398, please. I'd like to direct your attention, sir, to the text message number 94, which is a text message from you to Dr. David Kipper on March 19th, 2015. Do you see that?
I will in a second.
Sure.
94. This is, yes, March 19th, so I was in Los Angeles, yes. Yes, I see the text.
Your Honor, I would move for the admission of this exhibit with just that text displayed and every identifier redacted.
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, if we could do that redactions, please.
Thank you, Your Honor.
It was a pathetic attempt at humor. My apologies.
All right, 398 in evidence as redacted.
Just blow that up if you can a little bit more. Thank you. So in this text message from you to Dr. Kipper on March 19th, 2015, you text him, "My most sincere apologies to you, Doc. I understand your decision based on my immunity to do the right thing, and I truly do thank you for your concern. I must apologize for not having had the presence of mind to respect the man who has been the most kind and who has done more for me than anyone ever. There was no call for my spineless and base behavior toward you. I honestly understand the reasons for your concerns in your letter and can say to you now they no longer are an issue. Thank you for everything. I have chopped off my left middle finger as a reminder that I should never cut my finger off again. I love you, brother, Johnny." Did I read that right?
You did.
And Miss Hurd was not on that text message, was she?
No, she was not.
Can you take that down and put up Exhibit 499, please? And I'd like to direct your attention to item 39, the second text down, which is a text message exchange between you and Erin Borum, Dr. Kipper's nurse, on October 31st, 2015. You see that?
Yes, I did.
Your Honor, I'd move for admission of this exhibit with just that text message
No objection.
All right, if we could redact it.
and the appropriate redactions. Thank you.
499 in evidence with the redactions.
And in this text message from you to Dr. Kipper's nurse, Erin Borum, in October of 2015, you say, and I'll just try to read the relevant parts, sent huge text to Kipper, no response. He's an odd duck, old Kipper. This is the second time that he's held off giving me meds by blackmailing me into seeing him. The first time, I had just chopped my finger off. Oh well, I want off of the majority of the stuff anyway. I guess that's a new way to stop. X. Did I read that right?
You did, sir.
And Amber is not on that text exchange, correct?
Nope, she's not.
I'd like to, if we can pull up Exhibit 343. I believe it's Plaintiff's Exhibit 343. And this is where you tell Amber in a recording that you mentioned the day I chopped my finger off. So let's listen to that, please.
Are you entering in 343 into evidence?
Yeah, I think it's plaintiff's. It's the same one that was played yesterday. I believe that was plaintiff's 343.
It's 343 already in evidence.
And just for the record, which portions are you playing?
Sure.
Okay. Which portion are you playing?
I'm playing 2:02:15 to 2:02:19. Is that right? I don't know if we'll be able to get it exactly right, so there's a second or two on either side, but we'll do our best.
That's fine.
Do we have the date of this recording? Mr. Rottenborn?
What's the date of the recording?
I don't know. It's a plaintiff's exhibit. I don't know the date of the recording.
Okay.
Oh,
Fight you're talking about? I don't know.
I'm talking about Australia, the day that I
Now we're
shot
talking
my
about
finger.
Australia. Okay. Yes.
You hear that? And you said the day I chopped my finger off? Let's play it again. Let's
that'd
do it
be
again.
great, thank you.
Fight you're talking about? I don't know.
I'm talking about Australia, the day that I
Now we're
shot
talking
my
about
finger.
Australia. Okay.
Are you sure that's
Yeah, let's do it one more time. 'cause
what
you
I'm
actually
saying?
don't.
Or is it the day that I got my finger chopped off?
No, you say the day that I chopped my finger off. So let's play it one more time because I think I left out the word that. It says the day that I chopped my finger off.
Fight you're talking about? I don't know.
I'm talking about Australia, the day that I
Now we're
shot
talking
my
about
finger.
Australia. Okay.
I'm not so sure. In fact, earlier you had quoted Jerry Judge from the airplane tape as calling me an asshole. Wait till the asshole falls asleep. And I'm positive that those words never left his mouth because he would have, if I would have been making those noises in the bathroom, he would have ripped the hinges off.
Maybe they left his mouth when you were passed out, sir, respectfully. Let's listen to this
I don't
one more
think he
time.
was,
Objection.
I don't
I'll
think he was.
sustain it.
Yeah,
Start
move to
arguing.
strike.
I'll sustain as argumentative, and I'll move to strike. All right? Next question?
Just wanted to play this video, this one more time, please.
Fight you're talking about? I don't know.
I'm talking about Australia, the day that I
Now we're
shot
talking
my
about
finger.
Australia. Okay. Yes.
Okay, we can move on. Let's bring up Exhibit 380, please.
380?
This is another recording, Your Honor. I don't know whether it's been admitted into evidence yet.
380, plaintiff's 380? Or defendant's 380?
I believe it's defendants. I left my cheat sheet.
Okay. Thought it was an easy question.
I'm sorry.
Okay, 380.
I had it written down and
All right.
don't have it in front of me.
That's fine. Is it- They're both 380.
Plaintiff's 380.
Plaintiff's 380, okay.
Yes.
All right, I don't know if that's in evidence or not. Is plaintiff's 380 in evidence? No. So you're offering 380 before we hear it. Can we put it in evidence?
Yes, Your Honor, I'd move it into evidence, and the portions that I'd like to play are 3333 through 3410.
I assume no objections, this is the audio.
As long as this is an audio recording of just Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard, we have no objection.
This portion is.
This portion is.
Yes, I
Okay.
believe that there's other portions that involve other people, but as best I'm aware, well, actually, no. May we approach, because I think.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, they're going to work out an issue with one of the the audio recordings. So we'll go ahead and take our 15-minute recess for the afternoon, okay? Do not discuss the case and do not do any outside research, okay? All right. Okay, sure. Thank you, Sue. All right, thank you. You can be seated. And your next question, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. I think before the break, we were going to ask to play a portion of Exhibit 380, which is an audio recording. Counsel for both sides have conferred that neither side has an objection to the following excerpt being played, which is 33:33 through 34 minutes, through 34:00.
So 33 minutes to 34 minutes. So you're only entering to evidence that 1 minute of this audio. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor. There's
So somebody's going to get me an audio clip of just that at some point, correct?
Sure, we're happy to take care of that.
Okay, so I'll make that 380A.
We can fight over the rest of it later, but for
It's-
now, this will be
It's
just
plaintiff's
this.
380A.
Plaintiff's 380A. Would you
Okay.
like, we're happy to take care of that if,
That's fine, somebody just gives me that 1 minute.
oh, I'm told it's actually defendants, so, oh, they're both 380, so take your pick. So we'll get it to you. How about that?
Oh, joy, okay. All right, somebody's, we're going to go with plaintiff's 380 right now, okay? Try to keep the record clear. 380A and 33 through 34. Okay, go ahead.
What you are, and who you are, and how you fucked me over, and make me feel sick of myself. There's still a lot left in the day. Maybe you should dye your hair. I see your roots.
That's your voice in that audio recording, Mr. Depp, correct?
It is indeed, sir.
Now, we talked a little bit about what you wrote on the one mirror when you said Billy Bob Thornton and Easy Amber. Remember seeing that picture a few minutes ago?
I do.
And we talked about how Amber had just been in London filming a film with Billy Bob Thornton, correct?
That's correct.
Now, when you were apart from her, she would want to socialize with other people, and that made you feel insecure, right?
Compound and speculative.
All right, compound, I'll sustain as to compound.
Okay. When you were apart, she would want to socialize with other people, right?
Yes, I suppose at times, yes.
And that occasionally made you feel insecure, didn't it?
Not necessarily, no.
Let's look at page 257 of your UK transcript, please. I think that's day 2.
Day 2. $330. What was the number again? I'm sorry.
Sure, no problem. It's day 2, page 257.
257.
So it's page 23 of the document.
Oh boy. Two, 5-7.
Yes, sir, 257. Line
Okay.
13. Did you give the following testimony in response to the following questions? Question, and when you were apart, She would want to do things with other people, see other people, go out with other people, socialize. Yes? Answer, yes, sure. Question, and did this occasionally make you feel insecure? Answer, occasionally, yes, it did. Did I read that right?
You did.
Can we please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 343, which is a recording. It's been admitted, and we propose to play seconds 30 through 45. With your permission, Your Honor, may we
Go ahead.
play that portion? Thank you.
If you look at the bigger picture, what is the
become
irrational when you're doing movies. I become jealous and fucking crazy and weird, and you know, we fight a lot more.
Can we play that one more time, please? Actually, before we do, so this is you tell her you become irrational when you're doing movies, and you say you become weird. You heard those, right? Let's
I'd like to hear it.
yeah.
again,
Let's
if
play it
possible.
again. Thank you.
If you look at the bigger picture,
I
what is the
become irrational when you're doing movies. I become jealous and fucking crazy and weird, and you know, we fight a lot more.
So you heard yourself, Mr. Depp, say, "I become irrational when we're doing movies." You heard that, right? I can play it again if you'd like.
It's very difficult to tell if that's a you or I.
Sure. Why don't we play it again?
Thank you.
If you look at the bigger picture,
I
what is the
become irrational when you're doing movies. I become jealous and fucking crazy and weird, and you know, we fight a lot more.
Mr. Depp, in that audio, you say, "I become irrational when you're doing movies. I become jealous, fucking crazy, and weird, and we fight a lot more." You heard that, right?
Yeah, something to that effect, yeah.
You can take that down. I'd like to fast forward, Mr. Depp, to December 15th, 2015. I know there's been some testimony on that day for the jury. And you and Ms. Heard, you gave some testimony yesterday about an altercation that you had that evening. Do you remember giving that testimony?
Yes.
Okay.
I
And do you
that
remember?
It was evening, I'm not sure.
Yeah. And, okay. You would agree that after this altercation that you had, that you wrote on the countertop in your penthouse at the ECB in like a gold Sharpie. Remember that?
Very well, yes.
And your counsel has showed a picture to you that allegedly was taken that day. I'd like to pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 409, which was shown to the witness yesterday, I believe, Your Honor.
That's plaintiff's 409 was already in evidence, so we'll go ahead and publish it.
Is there a, it's the, yeah, there we go. Mr. Depp, and the jury will hear more about this as the case goes on, but do you recognize this picture of Ms. Heard as a picture that was taken directly after the December 15th, 2015 incident?
I don't know when it was. I don't know when the photograph was taken. I don't know much about it.
Okay.
I was out of the
You
picture.
can take that down. In any event, you don't disagree that that there was a headbutt that evening. That I know that there's disagreement about the cause of it, but you would agree that that you headbutted Ms. Heard that evening, correct?
No, I would vehemently disagree with that, sir. There was a lot of. I was trying to restrain Ms. Heard, and once I had restrained her, I would say if she's trying to still move around and kick at me or trying to get loose, any sort of movement when you're like this and your heads are together, this close together, it's not impossible for them to bump, but a headbutt is that's pretty extreme.
Okay.
Definition of that.
Let's take a listen to Exhibit 587. I believe that's Defendant's Exhibit 587. And Your Honor, this is one of the recordings that is just the two parties, Amber and Mr. Depp, and we would propose to play 8:45 through 9:20.
All right, is this whole 587 coming into evidence, the whole tape, or just that portion?
Yes, we propose the whole tape come in.
And to the extent that the tape is all just the two
And
parties, and that's fine.
just the two parties in this tape?
I believe so, Your Honor.
I believe.
Yes. I mean, we'll confirm, but for right now, I would just like to get this part into evidence. If we can have tonight, we'll confirm with you tomorrow that the whole thing is just the two of them. That's my understanding.
All right, well, so right now I can only put 587A in, and the minutes are, what were the minutes again?
8:45 to 9:20.
8:45 to 9:20. Okay, that portion's in evidence at the moment. Okay.
Well, you did.
Yeah, but
Thanks for your sorry.
you happy screaming is like somehow the end all be all,
Well,
sort of offensive thing. You can throw a punch, screaming is okay. You can headbutt somebody screaming, but don't scream.
Headbutted you on the fucking
Couldn't believe you did that.
forehead.
You,
That doesn't break a nose.
I don't know if you were.
Why don't we play that one more time, please? Because, Mr. Depp, my question for you is, did you say I headbutted you in the forehead? That doesn't break a nose. So let's take another listen.
Certainly.
But I didn't. But you did.
Yeah, but
Thanks for your sorry.
you happy screaming is like somehow the end all be all,
Well,
sort of offensive thing. You can throw a punch, screaming is okay. You can headbutt somebody screaming, but don't scream.
Headbutted you on the fucking
Couldn't believe you did that.
forehead.
You,
That doesn't break a nose.
I don't know if you.
Mr. Depp, you said I headbutted you in the fucking forehead. That doesn't break a nose. Correct?
I did say those
Okay,
words, but
all right,
I
let's
didn't. I
move
said was using the words that Ms. Heard was using,
Okay.
but there was not an intentional headbutt. And if you want to have a peaceful conversation with Ms. Heard, you might have to placate just a little bit.
Let's listen to Exhibit 598, please, Your Honor. This is another recording that I believe is just between the two. I just want to confirm with my team, but for now, we just ask to play minutes 6:05 through 7:36 of 598.
598A and evidence of 6:05 to 7:36.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Who is loudest is most responsible.
My
Just
16-year-old
because-
daughter heard
just-
you
just-
saying
by
shit
the way,
that she
that's
would
because
rather not
I'm
hear.
louder. By the way, because I'm louder.
Okay,
By the
whatever.
way, my family, my
'Cause
friends,
you
everyone
scream.
around me saw all the bruises and broken blood vessel under my eye, the bruises on my head, the missing chunks of hair, the split lip, the black eye, the swollen nose, all that shit because you're stronger. It does not mean because they heard me that I'm somehow more responsible. It just means they heard me because I yell in a fight. You do provoke. I yell. It doesn't mean I'm more responsible or badder. However, I am exposed via that. The distance between Cafe Cabrones and the house is significant, and I know that does not mean that they got an accurate representation of our fight. But if you told them stuff, great, cool. Thanks for exposing me. As I said to you before, don't do it again unless you want me to really also tell them my side of things. Because trust me,
You're welcome to.
Trust me, you know I have a different side than you. And if I show them pictures and stuff, I'm sure they'll have even more different side. And in fact, if I tell them even more stuff, they'll have an even more clear picture of what I think are both sides.
Maybe I should show them this
But
and
if you,
this.
that's true. If you
From
can do,
the mineral
you
spirits.
can do whatever you want. You can do
a
whatever.
can that you
You
threw
can
at
do
my
whatever.
face.
By the way, do it. I promise you, do it. Do whatever you,
You don't
want.
want me to do that.
No, you always.
They'll
you do
never
whatever
speak to you
want.
again.
You do whatever you want.
Let's take a look at Defendant's Exhibit 526, please. After the incident on December 15th, you wrote these words on the countertop at ECB, the Eastern Columbia building, correct?
That is correct.
And that's your handwriting on the counter, right? You wrote,
I wrote it in my own handwriting, yes, sir.
"Why be a fraud? All is such bullshit." You see that?
Very well, yes.
And that's in Penthouse 3?
I meant it. Why be a fraud?
Okay.
Why lie?
Well, let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at Exhibit 580. Mr. Depp, I'd like to direct your attention to the text message 2 up from the bottom. It's a text message, this is my question to you. It's a text message from you to David Hurd, Amber's father, on December 30th, 2015. Do you see that?
Which one am I looking at?
It's, good question, 131. Can you scroll up,
131.
please? And my only question for you now is that's a text message from you to David Hurd on December 30th, 2015, correct?
I was just reading it, sir. Sorry. Yes, yes, that's from me to David Hurd.
Your Honor, move for admission of 580. Just that text is all I want to ask the witness about.
No objection, but with the redactions of the phone numbers.
Of course.
All right. 580 entered in evidence with redactions.
Thank you, Your Honor. So in this text message, Mr. Depp, that you sent on December 30th, 2015, you tell him, Amber's father, below is a text that I never hit send on from a week or so again. It was in response to you. Hey, brother, I love you too, more than you can ever imagine. It's rare in life when one meets a kindred spirit, a couple of madmen with their thirst for further. There have only been maybe 3 people in my entire life of your ilk. You're a rare specimen, and our friendship means everything. Yes, I fucked up and went too far in our fight. I cannot and will not excuse my part inside these dramas. But I can promise you with all confidence they will never happen again. My most sincere apologies if I've let you down. Love you, brother. Did I read that right?
You did read that right, yes.
And so, in this text, sent on December 30th, you're telling David Hurd that you messed up and went too far in a fight. And
It
in the
doesn't
audio
say
visu-
physical fight.
And in the audio
fights can be arguments.
Sure. And in the audio that we just heard, Amber's talking to you about people seeing her injuries from December 15th and how she hid them from your kids during Christmas.
Objection, hearsay.
Is that right?
I'll-
We just listened to-
I know, but I'll sustain the objection to that question. Next question.
Okay. After you came back from Australia, you and Amber saw, you can take that down. Thanks. You and Amber saw someone by the name of Dr. Amy Banks. You joined her by Skype. Do you remember that?
The only time that I've ever seen Dr. Amy Banks was on a video link from Australia.
Right. And you saw her you saw her for a joint session with Amber, correct?
Yes.
And then you saw her individually for a session as well. Do you recall that?
Yes, a brief session, as far as I remember, yeah.
And during the joint session with Dr. Banks, you didn't contradict Amber's reporting that you were
Objection,
violent toward her,
hearsay.
correct?
All right.
That's- If he contradicted that.
Now, I'll sustain the objection. Next question.
We're going to jump around a little bit in time here, Mr. Depp. Earlier today, you recall that we talked about March of 2013, and you saw the picture with the cocaine box that said property of JD. You remember that?
Oh, yes, yes.
Okay. I'd like to show you a few documents here. Michelle, can you pull up Defendant's Exhibit 159, please, 159? And Mr. Depp, what I'm going to ask you about is the second text down. It's the text from you to someone named Sis, who I think you testified was, you said at first it was Christy, but I think you then testified that it was Whitney Heard, correct?
Sis is always Whitney. I call my sister Christy something else, another nickname.
Okay. Your Honor, I'd move for well, this is a text from you to Whitney on March 9th, 2013, correct? You see that?
What am I supposed to see? I'm sorry.
The second, the text, two down, is a text from you to Whitney dated March 9th, 2013.
Yes, I see that, yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, I would move for the admission of this Exhibit 159 with that text and then the second and third text from the bottom, please. With the appropriate redactions on everything else.
May we approach, Your Honor?
Okay. Can you, Michelle, can you please redact everything but the second text message, please?
And what we'll do, we'll just call this 159A, and that'll
Sure.
be admitted with redactions, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
So, Mr. Depp, this is a text message you sent to Whitney Heard on March 9th, 2013. And in this text message, you say, you blow that up as best you can, please. We had a slightly grim morning, but not a doozy. We kissed, she splits, and texts me sweet stuff. I do the same right back, and nada. So I just want to know that she is safe. I've heard nothing, just worried about her, XXX JD. Did I read that right?
Yes.
Okay. So that text was sent on March 9th, 2013. With that in mind, could you please pull up Defendant's Exhibit 161? Can you scroll? Yeah, no, here we go. Do you see 4 texts or 5 texts up from the bottom, there's a text exchange between you and Miss Heard. You see that?
Yes, I do.
And this is sent on March 12th, 2013.
Okay, yes, sir.
Which, if I'm doing my calculation right, was Tuesday, March 12th, 2013. And in the top text, you write, "Just thought you should know that there exists a book titled Disco Bloodbath. That's all." You see that? Did I read that right?
Yes, you did.
Your Honor, I'd move to move for the admission of this exhibit with those texts.
When you say those texts, which ones? Just,
Those 4. The text exchange between Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard.
okay. Any objection to that?
We have no objection to the omission of the 4 text messages between Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard on
So
that
if you
date.
make those redactions?
Yeah.
then- All right, 161 in evidence with the redactions. You can publish.
Thank you, Your Honor. So we'll just focus on the text. So we can see the top text is from you to Ms. Heard. And you say, "Just thought you should know that there exists a book titled Disco Bloodbath. That's all." And Amber wrote you back and said, "We need that book!" Exclamation point. And you wrote back and said, "Is it about last Friday night?" by any
Objection.
chance?" I'm sorry. I got it wrong.
I think you're, yeah.
Amber writes you and says, "We need that book." And then she writes you and says, "Is it about last Friday night by any chance?" And you write, "How can you make me smile about such a hideous moment? Yes, it is. Funny bitch. I fucking love you, you cunt." You wrote that on Tuesday, March 12th, 2013, referring to the previous Friday night, March 8th, 2013, correct?
I believe that this subject, I sent her that text that there exists a book called Disco Bloodbath from a bookstore that I was in. She said, "We need the book," asked me about if it was about last Friday. I believe that I have a very different opinion of what that Friday was than you do, and I
Well, your counsel can ask you about that, and I'm sure
indeed,
Ms. Heard
well, I
will
think that's
testify
when
to
we'll
that.
get into that, yes.
But my question to you is, you're writing, when you're referring to such a hideous moment, you're responding to Ms. Heard's text is it about last Friday night by any chance? Isn't that right?
That's what she's asking me, yes.
Okay. You can take that down, please.
Bless you.
Can you please bring up Defendant's Exhibit 638?
All right, what is, are we going to enter this into evidence, or?
Yes, Your Honor. Move for the admission of this video into evidence.
We have no objection, Your Honor.
All right, 638 in evidence. Thank you. Now you can publish it.
happened?
Nothing happened this morning, you know that?
Were you in here?
No.
So then nothing happened to you this morning?
Yeah, you're right. I just woke up and you were so sweet and nice. We were not even fighting this morning. All I did was say sorry.
Did something happen to you this morning? I don't think so.
No, that's the thing.
You want to see crazy? I'll give you fucking crazy. You're crazy. Oh, you're crazy. Oh, you're crazy.
Have you drunk this whole thing this morning?
Oh, you got this going? You got this going?
I just started it.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Really? Sneak that shit on me,
No,
motherfucker.
I didn't. You were smashing shit.
Bye. Do we have a date for this
That's your house
illegally
list.
recorded tape? Do we have a date or metadata or anything on that?
Why don't we, since you have some questions about it, why don't we watch it again?
Oh, I've
Play
seen
it
it.
again,
plenty.
please, Michelle. Okay, you know what, we don't have to do that.
That's good.
We don't have to do that. This is at your house in West Hollywood on Sweetser Avenue, correct?
That's correct, sir.
And that's you in the video, Mr. Depp, right?
That's correct, sir.
And you would agree that you were violent in that clip, correct?
Clearly, I was having a bad time. I don't know what it was with regard to completely at this point, since I don't know the date. But being illegally recorded by your chosen other is, well, it's quite fitting with the rest of the photographs and tape recordings she made. So I thought what was most interesting is that she tried to hide it from me, and then that she laughed and smiled at the end. I thought that was the most interesting part myself. But so yes,
You didn't
I
react.
did assault a couple of cabinets, but I did not touch Miss Heard. As you can see, I think. No?
And you may have been drunk in that video, correct?
There's a possibility of that, yes, sir.
You poured yourself a mega pint of red wine, correct?
A mega pint.
Yeah.
I poured myself a large glass of wine.
Right.
I thought it necessary.
Right. Right. Well, let's look at UK 101, please.
Okay, 101.
Yeah, this is day one.
Day.
You see there at line 5, do you have the page up?
I don't see 101 yet, sir. Sorry.
Okay, sorry, take your time.
I've got a bit of a bushel here. 101. Sorry.
It's in the volume for day one. if that helps.
Yes, yeah, that's what I'm looking through, but it's all, it's a bit of a jumble. Oh, sorry, here, page 101, is that what you like?
Yes, sir.
Great.
And just since you seemed amused by the terminology, you were asked the question, you were drunk, I'm going to suggest. What do you say to that? Answer, I may have been.
Where are we, sir?
Line 5.
Thank you.
Question, you were drunk, I'm going to suggest. What do you say to that? Answer, I may have been, I do not recall. The chances are very good that I was if I was upset. Question, we saw you pour a sort of, answer, mega pint. Question, mega pint of red wine, which is not everybody's choice for breakfast, is it? Answer, no. Did I read that right?
You did.
And you were very, very upset in that video, correct?
I think that's pretty clear, yes.
And you would agree that your behavior in that clip could be intimidating to anyone present in that room, correct?
Objection calls for speculation.
I'll sustain the objection.
You would agree that your behavior was intimidating, correct?
Objection calls for speculation.
All right, I'll sustain the objection.
Now, you're a lot bigger than Amber, correct? Physically?
I wouldn't say that.
Okay. Would you agree with me that the standards of a Southern gentleman were not in your mind in this particular moment, were they?
I don't know about anyone else, but I have had experiences in my life where one does stray from complete control over their emotions at times, and that is a very normal, primal thing to do. I did not try to intimidate Ms. Heard. If she was intimidated, why was she filming? If she was scared to death, why didn't she leave?
Can you pull up Exhibit 821, please? Defendant's Exhibit. We're going to fast forward in time a little bit, Mr. Depp.
Yes, I can feel it.
I'd like to direct your attention to the third text down. It's a text message from you to your sister on June 4th, 2016.
Yes, sir.
You see that?
Objection, relevance, Your Honor.
What's the relevance? Or you want to approach this? Sure.
Can you pull up Exhibit 870, please? Actually, can you pull up it's Plaintiff's Exhibit 157, 11. 157, page 11.
There we go. Okay, 157. Plaintiff's 157. Page
Yes, Your
11.
Honor.
Okay.
Mr. Depp, these are text messages that you sent to your friend Isaac Baruch, correct?
Yes, and I'll just say that I'm not proud of any of the language that I've used in these anger.
Your Honor, I'd move for admission of just this page of this exhibit.
Your Honor, we object on relevance.
All right, if you want to approach, let's do it. All right, with the redactions. You gotta tell her what redactions you're doing.
Sure. Just those middle two texts, please.
All right, plaintiff's 157, page 11, so I guess we'll call it 157A. Page 11, in with redactions needed.
Your Honor, permission to publish this redacted exhibit.
All right, yes, sir.
Mr. Depp, these are two texts that you sent to Isaac Baruch, who the jury's heard from on October 17th, 2016 and October 18th, 2016. Can you just read for the jury that first text?
You'd like me to read that?
Yes, please.
Sure, Mr. Rottenborn. Is the slippery whore that I donated my jizz to for a while staying there?
And can you please read the text under that, please?
Certainly. I'm not sure I sent that text, but...
Well, I'll read it. You say...
No, I'll read it. It's fine if you'd
No.
like to hear that.
You know, I'll go ahead and read
Oh,
it,
you
sir.
go ahead.
You tell Mr. Baruch on October 18th, 2016, hopefully that cunt's rotting corpse is decomposing in the fucking trunk of a Honda Civic, 2 exclamation points. Did I read that right?
You did?
Okay, you can take that down, Michelle, please. And can you please... Can you please pull up Exhibit 485, Defendant's Exhibit?
Is it 485?
Do you recognize this as a text exchange that you had between you and Amber Heard on September 28th, 2015?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, I'd move for the admission of the exhibit with just happy to have all of it, or just Mr. Depp's, depending on what his counsel wants. And Your Honor,
Give him a moment to read it.
of course.
We're happy to have the, Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard's portions admitted, but we would ask that the phone numbers be redacted.
All right.
Of course.
So you could redact the identifying information. All right, 485 in evidence as redacted.
Can you blow up the top text? Michelle, please. And I'm not going to read the whole text, Mr. Depp, but if you start 4 lines down, you say, "And I'm on such a beastly head fuck from earlier that I feel like I won't know what to do or how to be. I feel like I only just continue to piss you off. Believe me, I never want to hurt you, and always have never wanted to hurt you. Never. I don't want to be in that position anymore. Not ever again. I feel pushed and I push back. I feel hurt. I will hurt back. A fight commences. I will fight back. And obviously so will you. But I can't again to see it coming. It puts us both in some stubborn space where neither of us can hear, much less understand one another's position." Did I read that right?
You did, sir.
Can we pull up Exhibit 186, please?
May I just make a point of clarification for DX 485? It's a multi-page exhibit.
Is it? Okay.
Oh.
I just want to make sure it's just this page.
It was, it was just that page.
All right, what page is it?
Page 1 of 8.
So that'll be 485A, page 1.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Myers.
186.
Please.
Mr. Depp, if you can go to the first page, Michelle, please. This is a text exchange between you and Ms. Heard on September 6th, 2013, correct?
What's the date?
September 6th, 2013, I believe. You see that in the lower right of the text boxes?
Third, well, from the second one, the top one says September 5th.
Starts on the 5th, right, and then I was looking at the one that starts, "Thank you for your letter." That's September 6th, correct?
That is September 6th, yes.
Okay. And then Your Honor, I'd move for admission of this document, starting with the text that says, "Thank you for your letter." And happy to have both texts or not, depending on what Mr. Depp's counsel argues. But thank you for your letter. And then going into the next page through the text that says, "I have other uses."
Could we please scroll down just to see a little further?
Can you scroll down a little bit further? Thank you.
Can we please continue down further? I think we would like through the text messages on the third page, through Mr. Depp's text at September 6, 2013 at 8:10 a.m.
No objection to that. That's fine.
All right, so it's Defendant Exhibit 186, pages 1 through 3, then as redacted, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So 186A, pages 1 through 3 as redacted. Okay.
Can you just scroll down so council can see and the court can see if the redactions are right?
All right.
Looks correct, thank
All
you.
right, entered in evidence then, 186A.
All right, permission to publish?
Yes.
Thank you. If you can, yeah, there we go. So, Mr. Depp, on September 6th, 2013, you send Ms. Hurd a text that says, "Thank you for your letter, I love you."
Yes,
Scroll
that's
down.
correct.
She writes, "Thank you for mine." Did I read that right?
You did.
And then you write, "The only reason we go for the throat is love." Did I read that right?
You did.
And then she writes, "My throat is yours. You're going to be the death of me, but I don't care." And then you write, "I have other uses for your throat which do not include injury." I have other uses for your throat which do not include injury.
Sorry, could you read that again?
These are your words, sir, right? I read that right, correct?
You did.
Okay. You can take that down. Can you pull up Exhibit 483, please? This is a journal that you and Amber would write to each other in, correct? It's a picture of a journal, right?
That's correct.
And this is an entry that you made on looks like September 27th, 2015. Is that right?
That's correct.
And if, Your Honor, I'd move for, is there another page below it? Okay, I'd move for the admission of these two pages as Exhibit 483A.
Any objection?
No objection.
All right, 483, and that's the first and second page of that exhibit, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, 1 and 2, okay. All right, in evidence, you can
Permission to publish?
publish.
And if you can scroll down, Michelle, to the bottom that starts with "I love and adore you," please. Mr. Depp, you write in this journal, and just to be clear, this journal is something that you and Amber would write notes to each other in that the other one would be supposed to read, correct?
Yes, we wrote notes to each other for each other to read.
And you wrote, "I love and adore you. I can't express how sorry I am for having stooped so low as to have spewed such vicious untruths for the sole purpose of hurting you. I am far from being proud of myself for such a," next page, "grievous error, shameful. I will never allow myself to resort to such disgraceful and odious behavior, no matter what." Did I read that right?
You did.
Can you please pull up audio tape 396, please?
Has that already been entered in evidence? 396.
396.
Is it plaintiff's or defendant's exhibit? Sorry.
I'm told we think it's plaintiff's exhibit.
Plaintiff's exhibit 396. Has it been in evidence? No. 396 plaintiffs.
And this is another one of those, Your Honor, that I'm pretty sure is just between the two, but I'd like to confirm.
All right, so 396A, which part are you playing?
709 to 719. And 2004 to 2023.
And this is just the two
Two
litigants on it?
clips. Yes, Your Honor.
All right, any objection to those two clips?
No, Your Honor.
All right, 396A, entered into evidence. Go ahead.
What's the date?
I'm not. You're a cunt. I fucking hate you. Fucking hate you, and I want out. Fuck this. Goodbye. Cunt.
In that portion of the recording, Mr. Depp, you tell Amber you're a cunt and you fucking hate her, correct?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Can we play the next portion, please? So the first clip was at about 7 minutes in. This is at 20 minutes in. So that was about 13 minutes later, correct? My math's right?
I don't know. What's the date?
Can you pull
You've
up?
got time, but you don't have date.
Can you pull up Exhibit 180, please?
Defendants 180?
Yes. You scroll down, please. I believe you've testified, Mr. Depp, you did not like Ms. Heard expressing her disapproval of your drinking and drug habits, correct?
Her disapproval went much further than just drink and substances.
Okay, let's go to the first page of this, please. This is text messages from you to Ms. Heard on, looks like July 9th, 2013. Do you see that?
Yes.
And is it just 2 pages? Okay, 3. Your Honor, I'd move for the admission of Defendant's Exhibit 180.
Any objection, or do you need to look at the 3 pages?
Yeah, I think we saw the first two. Could we just see the third?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
All right, no objection, 180 in evidence. Is there any redactions needed?
I don't believe so,
No
Your Honor.
identifier?
It doesn't appear to be.
Okay,
It's our lucky day.
all right, there you go. All right, 180 in evidence, then you can publish.
Okay. In this, and when it says Steve here, Mr. Depp, that's what Ms. Heard referred to you as, correct?
Yes.
And you referred to her as Slim, right?
Yeah. Yes, that's correct.
And so you text her rears, tears, beers, shears, sapphires, leers, jeers, queers, hears, fakirs, mouseketeers, ears. I can go all night, DJ MaxiPad. The old vintage motherfucker you went for, dumbass. Did I read that right?
I was signing off as dumbass.
And then below that, you write, don't call me again and do not expect anything from me. Do you see that?
I do see that.
Did I read that right?
You really did.
Let's go to the next page, please. Eat salad with your equine, AD, bovine yerps. And thanks for the support. Have a great shoot. You sicken me. Leave me fucking be, Officer Squarehead. Your display of guilt and matronliness as a lesbian camp counselor was plenty. Your future is on display. Best of luck.
Best if luck.
Thank you for the correction. Best if luck.
You're welcome.
And thanks for the tunes. Bye, JD. Don't call again. I will begin to feel embarrassed for you. Go away, coach. Hup. Done. Did I read that right?
No.
Other
Go
than-
away, coach. Done. Hup. Done.
Thank you. Otherwise, did I read that right?
Sure.
You agree that referring to Amber as a lesbian camp counselor is a highly offensive reference to make, correct?
What's the date here? 2013. It wasn't as considered as egregious. There was a bit more. There was a bit more understanding about terms. Amber also called herself a lesbian camp counselor many times. So I don't think I'm the first to say that.
You'd agree that there's nothing appropriate about referring to her, your girlfriend or fiance as that, in those disparaging terms in that text, correct?
Objection compound.
All right, sustained comment.
You'd agree that you meant the terms in your text as an insult because you didn't like the fact that she was disapproving of your alcohol and drug habits. Isn't
Objection
that right?
compound.
Sustained compound question.
There was nothing.
No, you don't have to
all-
answer that, sir. That's
Sorry.
right. Next question.
Sorry, Your Honor.
And
That's
if you
okay.
can go up one page, please. You told her, "You sicken me. Leave me fucking be, Officer Squarehead." Correct?
Yes. Hello?
Let's go to Defendant's Exhibit 736, please. Can you scroll down, please? Is that the last page? Is there more? Okay. Go up then, please. Now, Mr. Depp, I'd like to direct your attention to the text at the bottom. We've heard some testimony in this case, the jury's heard testimony in this case about the events of May 21st, 2016. These texts are texts that you and Amber exchanged on May 22nd, 2016.
All right.
You see that?
Yes, I see that.
Your Honor, I'd move for the admission of Defendant's Exhibit 736.
All right, any objections?
Well, the identifiers need to be redacted, and I
Sure.
just want to clarify that the 3 pages we scrolled through are the only 3 pages.
Sure, let's
Of the
take a look
exhibit.
at them right now. It's just those 2 pages.
Oh,
2 pages or 3 pages?
It's just 2.
oh, if it's just these 2, then that's fine.
Okay, we'll take out the identifiers, please. All right.
Okay,
736 in evidence as redacted.
Thank you. Mr. Depp, if you can take a look at the text message at the bottom of the first page. You write to Ms. Heard the day after the incident on May 21st, 2016. Just let me know when you have a minute, and I'll give you a call. Nothing I have to say to you should elicit anything but a sense of ease. All my love and profound apologies, Jay. Did I read that right?
You did.
Can we go to 771, please? Mr. Depp, is this a text message from you to Ms. Heard on May 22nd, 2016?
Yes, that seems to be the case, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Your Honor, I'd move for admission of this exhibit with identifiers redacted.
Any objection?
No objection.
All right, if you do those redactions. All right, 771 in evidence with redactions.
And on May 22nd, 2016, you wrote the text that we just saw. You also texted Ms. Heard, sorry if was a bit. Please know that my hurt toward you is over. My apologies are eternal and belong to you. Solid X. Did I read that right?
You did.
Can we please pull up Exhibit 587? And Your Honor, this is an audio recording that I think will take about 5 or 6 minutes, so
Okay.
it might take us toward the end of the day.
All right, 587, and is that an audio recording that's agreed?
Is this plaintiffs or defendants, 587?
It's defendants. Again, I'm 99% sure it's just them,
Okay.
but I'll confirm this evening.
Any
That-
objections?
That's fine. Can you please just let us know which portions you're playing?
Of course. This will be 3210 to 3805.
Okay.
And
so-
Mr. Depp, before we move on, you and Ms. Heard saw each other in July of 2016, one final time, correct? You testified to that, right? You saw each other in San Francisco, right?
Yes, we
Okay.
did.
All right.
I'm still not sure if that was the final time. I believe the last time I saw her was in her divorce attorney's office when the agreement was signed,
I'm sorry.
I believe.
I believe I misspoke, Your Honor. I'm sorry. It's 586. Sorry. It's the,
Same video that you were discussing, just the wrong number?
yes,
Okay,
yes,
so-
Your Honor. And what I would propose to play is 3210 to 3805.
So we'll make it 586A,
Yes.
sections 3210 through 3805. All right, that's in
Yes,
evidence. Okay,
thank you.
Thank you.
And with your permission, I'd ask for us to play this to
Okay.
the jury.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Actually, but before we start, Mr. Depp, during this meeting that you had with her, at one point, you tried to cut yourself with a knife, correct?
I don't recall that, no.
Okay, let's play this.
I mean, I
Thank you.
might have made a move.
Just fine. But that was the problem. It's my fault. This is really pretty.
Thanks. You want to cut me somewhere?
Do I want to cut you?
Yeah, you want an arm, you want a chest? What do you want? What do you want the scar? What do you want? Cut me.
Just don't cut your skin. Please do not cut your skin. Please don't.
Cut me.
Why would I do that?
It's easy.
Don't. Please do not do that. Please do not do that.
Cut me.
Please don't. Please don't cut yourself. You don't need to cut yourself.
I need to do what I want.
I know it hurts. I feel the same.
Cut me. I don't want your mark.
You have it.
No, you don't.
You have it.
They're gone. No, thank you. No, thank you. There's sperm on the pillows. Come here. If you don't, I will. Come here. Well, he spits romance for this because he's a fucking conservative prick.
Don't. Please don't. Don't cut yourself. Please don't cut. Please don't cut yourself. Please, I know it
You
hurts.
do it.
I would never cut you.
Come here.
I would never do that to you. Please
Come
don't.
here. Come on, pussy. Yeah, you fucking hate me. Come on. Come here.
Tell me
Not a problem. How you want?
You're on my arms.
Not on your arm. Not on your arm. Want to be cut? Do you? Just gonna go to court. Didn't cut.
My knife is really dull.
I have to use a sharp part.
Don't do that. Don't.
Don't you tell me.
Please don't do that. Put the knife down. Just put the fucking knife down. Don't do that. Do not do that, Johnny. Please,
I
you're
want to
gonna
look at you.
you're gonna hurt yourself. Please
I want to
stop.
look at you.
I know you're in pain. Wait. Stop. Please
There's a
don't.
way for the pain to go away.
It's not that. It doesn't make it go away, trust me.
You don't fucking know.
I do know. It doesn't make it go away.
Really?
Did it make it go away?
Yeah.
It did? Please don't do that, okay? There's love here. There is love here. There's love here. I wouldn't be here. I have no other reason to be here. The knife is really dull, and it would be the worst thing in the world to use to cut me with. It would be too painful and dull and dirty to use.
Yeah, that's the tip of the knife.
Right? It's pretty. No, please do not. Don't. You're gonna hurt yourself. Don't. See? It's okay. Please don't cut yourself. Please don't. Please stop. Please stop. Please. Don't hurt yourself, please.
No, I won't hurt myself at all.
Your Honor, I think that might, if it's okay with Your Honor, I'm probably going to move on to something else.
Later, next time. Okay, I assume you still have quite a bit cross, or,
A bit. I'm not exactly sure.
all right, but more than we could do.
Yes.
Okay, all right, that's fine. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like we've come to the end of our week. So I won't be seeing you again till Monday. Since I won't be seeing you till Monday, I just want to give you the large jury instruction I gave you, and I'll try to give you on each Thursday evening, just to remind you, since I won't see you for 3 days, okay? So remember, it's the court's instruction to you, the jury, that you not read anything about this case, that you not watch anything about this case. You're not to listen to anything about this case. This applies to television, newspapers, magazines, the internet, and any online sites. Further, you're not to read, watch, or listen to anything about this case on any social media networking sites such as Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, blogs, or similar sites. In addition, you must not communicate with anyone about the case, whether in person, over the phone, by email, text, or instant messaging, or by any other electronic or non-electronic means. This includes your family, friends, coworkers, acquaintances, and strangers. I also instruct you that you cannot do any research or make inquiries about this case, whether online or by any other means. What you learn about this case is limited to what you learn in the four walls of this courtroom when proceedings are underway. All right, so I hope you have a safe and quiet weekend, and we'll see you Monday morning bright and early, okay? Thank you. You're excused for the weekend.